The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, the boy, here with me as is usually the plan when I talk about wrestling. It is Billy. Say hi to the nice people, Billy.
Tally-ho.
And while we front-loaded most of our front-end stuff with a nice little pre-podcast blurb, I do want to get this right out front. There might be some background noise in this podcast. This is the Two Nerd Podcast takes place in a household with living people in it, so sometimes they make noise. If you don't like that, that's too bad, because it's going to happen anyway.
Hit the subscribe button. If you don't like it, subscribe.
See, now this is...
Subscribe and share.
You're not on this podcast. Shush, shush.
Subscribe and share.
Anyway, we are here to talk about the WWE Fastlane event for the year 2016, or 2016 if you use the dumb regular calendar. Any thoughts about the show in general, Billy?
It was about average, par for the course.
Yeah, I would say on average a C. C plus maybe, just because I liked the main event a lot more than I thought I was going to. But I would say it was a solid C show, about as good as your average Raw, but with more wrestling in it. So that's good. Right on to the matches.
Yeah, sure.
Did you catch the Kalisto Alberto Del Rio thing in the pre-show?
I did.
Was it good?
I thought it was pretty good. It was a little annoying that they cut to a commercial break for some fucking reason on the pre-show. Like, after the first fall, commercial break, they came back. And
what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's weird. This isn't Raw. It's on your network, guys. It's fine. You don't need to break. All right, well, whatever.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they were advertising their shit, but still, you could do it after a fucking match or before.
Right? You're not built in by the Raw television contract to need commercials. Why would you fuck up your own flow like that? I was under the impression the only reason they did it during the Raw is because they had to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have to show their shit, so I understand why they're plugging something.
No, they really fucking don't. That's the thing. The people who are watching this already fucking have the network. You don't need to give them commercials for more of the shit on the network. It'd be like Netflix interrupting me watching Jessica Jones to show me something for fucking Ridiculous 6. I'm not gonna watch Ridiculous 6 anyway. Please let me get back to the show I'm trying to watch.
Well, I can't remember what they were advertising. It may not have been the network. It might have been shirts and shit. But if they did plug if they plug Netflix, that was really weird. But if they plug the network, that, your point is valid.
No, you know what? I can understand if they're breaking it up to mark shirts and shit. Shirts and shit is how they make the majority of their money still. But, I'm glad the match was good. I didn't see it because I don't watch the pre-show, because if you don't think it's important enough for me to be on the main show, then I don't think it's important enough to watch. Sorry.
I don't know that that's necessarily the mindset.
It's an incredibly shitty, reductive mindset that I probably shouldn't have, but this card pissed me off, so I didn't care.
Oh, the boy. This is going to be the salt and pepper train tonight, isn't it?
You're pretty much on the road to Saltburg for most of this evening. I hope you're prepared. The first match that I saw was they opened it with the Divas tag match. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks versus Naomi and Tamina. No, I'm not saying their team name. It's stupid. Anyway. This match was fine. This match wasn't bad. This match wasn't, it was as good as I've come to expect from the people in it. That's not a negative thing at all. It was a solid match that meh, I think is probably the best way I could phrase it.
It was a good match. And this is, I think, a problem with all the February pay-per-views at this point for the WWE. It's an awkward stop between the Rumble and Mania, where you kind of have to have a holding pattern.
You don't have to.
Well, that's everything well, at the very least with the main event. You win the Rumble, then there's like this awkward 2-month period where you're waiting for the match you won. And so if you've done something like Bill Wyatt versus Brock in the Rumble, or we're building towards Sasha and Charlotte at Mania, there's this random pay-per-view period you have to book for, and anything you do is going to be telegraphed way the fuck ahead of time.
Yeah, speaking of telegraphed, there was only one match on this card that I did not call the pretty much exact end of before the night even started. I'll tell you which one when we get there. But, this match went as expected. The faces went over. It was, a nice way, good way to start off the show, get people excited. I didn't find it super exciting, but the crowd seemed into it, so that works. The crowd fucking loves Sasha Banks. It's a pay-per-view, so it's all NXT diehards and IWC people, so, of course they love Sasha Banks. But god damn, they made more noise during Sasha Banks being in the ring than they made for pretty much the entirety of that 6-man tag later.
Yeah, well, that was not a good match.
No, but we're not there yet.
There we go.
We're not there yet. It's not time to bitch about that yet. First, we have to bitch about other things.
It was just a good crowd tonight. It felt like that excitement I want to feel out of a pay-per-view crowd. They really seemed into just about everything that was going on, and they were cheering at the right times, booing at the right times. They didn't really seem to be that disruptive as for their norm.
Not as bad. They did kind of shit on Reigns, but at this point that's kind of expected, and as you pointed out before we started the podcast, it's Dean Ambrose's hometown. I can respect it more than usual, although to be fair, bridging into our next thing, Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. It's Dolph Ziggler's literal hometown. He's from Cleveland. And the crowd was a big section of the crowd was way more on Kevin Owens' side.
Yeah.
So much so that Owens actually remarked upon it during the match, and what had to be my favorite part of the whole match, he pointed at Dolph and said, "Your hometown crowd likes me more than you."
I love it when any wrestler gets, verbal and we can hear them,
That's one thing that I think Kevin Owens actually does really, really well, is he sells the match, but you can hear him trash talking. He projects like he's in a theater. Fucker's just playing mean-ass Hamlet all the time.
This is theater, technically.
I suppose it is. And he does a good job of that. That is one thing that I cannot take away from Kevin Owens at all, is that he is very entertaining when he's trash talking, and I can hear him because he's very good at it. If he was bad at it, it'd be different. I'm gonna be honest with you, I genuinely don't fucking remember much about this match. The Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler thing, I think I said pretty much exact same thing about the last time I saw Kevin Owens in a match. He's not bad. He's really, really good. But for some reason, whenever he's done wrestling, my mind just flushes all the data from that match. I don't remember much of the actual wrestling. I'm sure it was good. I remember it being good, just nothing specific. It's like, oh yeah, it was a match that happened. Do you remember details?
No, I remember more about the previous match than this one, but no.
By all means, let's go back, because I don't have anything to say about the previous match, but if you do.
Well, no, there were just a couple of small spots that I liked. I love the bit where Tamina got Sasha to chase her into the ring, and then Naomi hit her with something.
Yeah, with her ass.
That. That was good. And there was one other thing that was just kind of a common little miscue when Sasha threw Naomi into the post and Tamina was going to tag in. There was just this moment where she was reaching for a hand, but wait, there's no hand here. Oh shit, I'm tagging your ass. It was just slightly comedic, and I loved it. It was natural.
I'm glad that you had a good time. I didn't even have a bad time. This was just, a lot of the finishes were not super, meh. I'm a little sad Dolph didn't go over, but, WWE has now spent so much of their time subverting the hometown hero wins in his hometown thing that if you're in your hometown, expect to lose.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
And for me, why I don't remember much about this match is, as somebody that has been watching, the week-to-week Raws and shit, we've seen this match so many fucking times. It's lost its meaning. It's always a good match, but it's a good match we've seen.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, when every week was either like the Shield versus the Wyatt family, or the Usos versus the Wyatt family, or like the Usos versus Goldust and Stardust for a while, where they just play this fucking one song so much that the song begins to lose all meaning and you actually start hating it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this match, but it's just,
We're done. We don't need to see this. It's fine. We're good. We get it. Okay, move on.
Yeah, well, and that's a thing we've noted with the booking several times. They overdo the thing. They were doing that with the Usos and New Day last year, if I recall. They
go for, how about just one more? No, not one more. Fucking stop. Know when to quit. Know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em, motherfucker.
And to that point, a little later on, AJ Styles versus Jericho. AJ Styles debuted at the Rumble. This was their third fucking match.
Yeah, they video packaged about that shit. I was like, damn, this is all those guys have been doing, isn't it?
And to be fair, it was part of the feud. Like, most of the time, Owen Ziggler going at it, it's just, oh yes, this is happening.
No, they made that a story. I'm not mad at that.
And that's important, because it's not that you can't have the people go at it several times in short order. It's that it has to mean something to the story.
Right, it can't be, well, here are these two motherfuckers fighting again for no particular reason. Have fun.
Although to be fair, if they announce a match like that, here's these two motherfuckers again, I might be a little more interested in it.
Like, Lillian Garcia just goes, alright guys, we need to fill some space on the card. Here's these two motherfuckers, they're gonna wrestle. I got nothing. And then just leaves.
I love it when professionals go unprofessional just all of a sudden. It always tickles me.
Speaking of unprofessional, how about that 6-man tag?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, Big Show, Kane, and the Ryback fighting the Wyatt family. Not Bray, the rest of them. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Big Strong Guy. It's still the stupidest name in active wrestling right now. You know what? I recently was watching, like, WCW in passing, because Spork likes to watch it all the time, old WCW. Braun Strowman's about as stupid a name as the Booty Man.
Hey, now, if he would have a renewal in wrestling, if they pair him with the New Day at this point.
You know who you pair with the New Day? You pair Eric Rowan with the New Day. That's who you pair with the New Day. Hardest working booty in wrestling. I got, like, this match was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Like, I looked at this match and went, oh, those three assholes are going over for, I don't know why. Because the Wyatt family are the redheaded stepchildren of the fucking WWE at this point.
I just wish they'd do something else. Like, this was a perfect opportunity to put the Wyatts over, but as Road Dogg has argued on fucking Twitter, wins and losses apparently don't matter.
That's not true, though. Like, Road Dogg's wrong, though.
I know. I'm not saying I agree with him, but it's like that he confirms the mentality, you know? And I wish I had been there when that tweet went out, just so I could respond. But wait a minute, then why did Goldberg get over with 200 fucking consecutive wins?
Wins and losses don't always matter. It's not always about who wins the match. That's not the end-all, be-all. But they do matter. They are important. Who wins the match? Who loses the match? That is an important thing. In and of itself, this loss that the Wyatt family took to these three dumbasses, It's just that these, two of your guys here are over the hill, end of their career guys, who aren't gonna get anything out of this one in the first fucking place. They'd be better served losing, giving up the win, and helping to push the Wyatt family. But you know what? I'm getting off topic. It's not that they won. It's not that the Wyatt family lost. This is not an isolated incident, is the issue. It's that the Wyatt family always loses. They win a few matches, they do some things, they beat up some guys, but on the pay-per-view, when it counts, when it matters, they are choke artists. And it's not their fault, obviously, but that's how they're being booked. So it's hard to sell Bray Wyatt as a big, mean, scary, heel, if you don't let him actually win occasionally when it counts, when it matters.
Yeah. A lot of the problem with the booking is that they need a new playbook, and they need to look at things a little differently than how they have been doing it. Like, somebody suggested at one point, Bray Wyatt should be the big final end boss. Like, maybe he only shows up for the big four, and I was thinking, Harper should be the on-the-ground commander. Wyatt just gives him an order, and he commands the other two to take out people.
He should only wrestle. Cause I want him on TV every week, but he should only really wrestle on pay-per-view sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like that.
Harper could do the matches on Battleground and Extreme Rules and shit, and they have to get through Luke Harper, the gatekeeper, if they want to get to Bray Wyatt. And so Wyatt has more meaning, and it would build Harper because he'd have to beat some motherfuckers before somebody could get through him.
This all presupposes that they're actually going to start pushing Bray Wyatt in a meaningful way, so we're kind of already working in fantasy land. But I don't hate that. I'm not sure I like it, because I like wrestlers who wrestle. But, I especially don't like people who only do stuff during the big pay-per-views. That's your Brock Lesnar's, your Rocks, and I'm real fucking tired of that, to be honest. But I understand the idea there, and I think you could work with that while still getting Bray some in-ring time, occasionally.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be just pay-per-views. He'd obviously also be house shows, and there could be the occasional six-man tag, on Raw and on pay-per-view.
Right. And that's the best way to book, not wrestling, but that's kind of a version of how you want to book a big heel, is they need to win and 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 win. And then they get toppled by the, unexpected face from nowhere. It's, the audience isn't gonna give a shit if the bad guy loses all the fucking time. No one gave a shit when Gargamel lost on the Smurfs because he never won.
I'll have to take your word on that. I don't recall ever watching the Smurfs. I think a better one would have been if Voldemort lost every time him and Potter came into contact in the 7 books.
But he did, though. And they made that work by having him go beat other people.
No. First book, Potter barely beat Quirrell by some fucking technicality.
You know what? We don't need to start booking the Harry Potter universe. We're already having trouble with the WWE universe.
Well, no, because he won in the 4th one. He didn't kill Potter, but he came back. This one,
Are you seriously going through the booking of the Harry Potter books right now?
Yes, goddamn it, because that somehow matters to me. Shut up and listen to my rant. And in the 6th book, you can't talk to 7th book, he won, but then Vince McMahon came out at the end and, we're redoing the ending of the match.
Hold on, now I just want an adaptation of the Harry Potter universe that just fully takes place in a wrestling ring. It's just, you do the whole Harry Potter saga as a wrestling gimmick. I kind of want that now.
I just love the idea of Vince McMahon walking into the court. No, that's not how this happened.
Anyway,
and it's being in a steel cage match, damn it.
The Charlotte versus Brie Bella match. This is the only match on the card I got wrong.
Really?
I thought Brie was winning. Scuttlebutt on the internet is she's retiring this summer, so I figured they'd let her win here, have Charlotte get the win back at WrestleMania, give Brie a nice big send-off, but...
No, that's just stupid, boy.
Right, it's the WWE. I was expecting them to do something stupid, because that's what you always should expect.
There's nothing about Brie Bella that suggests she did the big send-off. She's never been that top tier, even in the Divas division.
Right, but it kind of be like a proxy send-off for Daniel Bryan they never really gave him, and that sort of thing. Like I said, it's a dumb idea. That's why I was expecting them to do it. But they
all come post-Mania.
They've pleasantly surprised me. Charlotte won. Pretty clean, not like fully, but not a lot of Ric Flair involvement, which I liked because I honestly don't like that fucking gimmick. The Charlotte and Ric Flair thing. Because one of the reasons that Charlotte was good was because she made her own legacy. She was just a good wrestler. She was, talented on her own. You didn't need to bring Rick in to sell her. But they did it anyway, and I don't know why.
I have a theory on that. I think it was she was kind of floundering as a face because she just isn't the person that should be a face. And so they kind of got cold feet, and in order to have Flair manage her, they turned her heel.
See, but that's not true, though. In NXT, she did amazing as a face. She was super over.
But she wasn't doing very good in the E, though, I didn't think.
I blame the E, not Charlotte Flair. I blame the E for that one.
Yeah, it's the E booking. They made it awkward. They made that Revolution thing awkward.
Well, that's because they don't know what a fucking face and a heel is when it comes to Divas matches. They think all women are some sort of weird two-faced duplicitous snake monster underneath their top layer of skin, because for some reason you can't get a diva to stay face or heel for more than 2 weeks.
Wait, that's not true? I think we should consult Letty's wife on this one. She's there somewhere.
Oh, anyway. But, it's such terrible fucking booking, and it cripples your story, because none of it's believable anymore. No one gives a shit, because, she turned heel, she's a bad guy, now she'll be a good guy next week when she's fighting the Bellas again, or what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter, because you've really told us it doesn't matter.
Well, it came out, like there was some ex-writer from the WWE did some interview where he confirmed it, like that was the mindset they were told. There is no face heel in the Divas division.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, if they would just do that in the regular division, they might be able to tell better stories. Except they did it the entirely wrong way. There's no face heel, so just have them bounce between really, really nice good guy and terrible duplicitous asshole every week. It's let them play the character they play, and then whatever the audience cheers for, let them cheer for it.
Yeah,
you got the right.
That's kind of why, like, the crowd cheering Owens doesn't bother me as much as, like, the crowd booing Reigns.
Right, because the crowd's for something. They're excited. They're in favor of something.
Yeah.
But, like, WWE is like one of those fucking jackass genies you see in fiction or role-playing games where you say something and they're like, I got you, bro, and then they take the exact wrong meaning from it. Stop doing faces and heels. It's not that, it's not that rigid. Just let them play the characters they want to play, and then whatever the crowd cheers for is what the crowd cheers for. Yep. Stop doing faces and heels. I like that idea. We'll try it on the Divas division. Alright, guys, they're all heels secretly. Go with it. No, assholes!
The WWE is like that monkey's paw for the one Simpson Treehouse of Horror. This turkey sandwich is a little dry.
But, so we had, anyway, Charlotte won, like I think I mentioned. Then on to a match which was a pleasant surprise purely because it wasn't terrible. I called the ending like I did the rest of this card. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah. And it should have ended that way. I hated the submission he used for it, but AJ should have won.
I don't think there was another option. Chris Jericho is usually a very stand-up guy for this sort of thing, and he basically, for the last 7 years, has been doing nothing but coming back occasionally, giving honors to some new guy, fucking off. That's all he does anymore, is he comes back, he loses, and then he leaves again.
Yeah, but he's only there for a few months. You can't have him destroy someone.
Right, that's what he does, it's what he's for, so I'm not surprised that's what happened here.
Yeah.
It was a decent enough match. I still don't fucking get what people are excited about with AJ Styles. I don't get it. He's fine. He's okay. He kind of looks like a creator wrestler, and that's a little weird. But, he's not bad. He's just not amazing. And the Styles Clash is the stupidest looking fucking finisher in the universe.
It's not that different from Cesaro's, what is it? Crotch grab slam.
Yeah, the neutralizer. Would you like to know what the difference is between the Styles Clash and the neutralizer?
Sure.
The neutralizer doesn't have that weird, awkward waddle step in the middle where AJ Styles has to waddle his way over them and, hook their arms. And they kind of have to visibly help with that, and it takes all the dynamism out of the move. That's not a move you can snap out of nowhere. It's not a good-looking move. It looks very stupid. And also, it doesn't look that damaging. A finishing maneuver should, at its base, look like something that could knock someone out for a count of 3. A Styles Clash is he basically forces them to belly flop, and he lands on their legs, because that's where his weight is, on their legs. And then he rolls them over very slowly, like perhaps he's trying to make sure they aren't injured and he wants to check on them. And then he grabs their butt and nods and smiles. It's like a weird crab-walky, molestery, sad, slow version of the neutralizer. I think I've highlighted why it's dumb looking at this point. Care to counter argument here?
It looked a lot better when he was younger. He's getting older. Like they said, he's like an 18-year veteran.
You know what? It looked a lot better when he was younger. That's fair, but I'm sorry. I don't think it looked that much better. In its essence, is probably still the same move.
Well, and he was bulkier at that point, so it looked like it had some more power to it somehow.
That's entirely fair.
He's getting older. He's no longer this young guy that just gets the scene that everybody's impressed with. He's been here a while.
That last thing you mentioned where he was bulkier, that's fair. You could have a big muscle guy do a wealth of stupid looking bullshit, and it seems way more hurtful because he's doing it. Like Brock Lesnar, his move is essentially he sets them down.
That's not quite fair. He fucking flings people.
He does. Well, that's his suplexes. The F5, it looks better than an FU. It looks better than John Cena does a particularly vigorous body slam. But because they're big, giant muscle hulks, it looks more impressive. That's a fair point. But I only have the Styles Clash that I have to see. That's the only one I think I may have ever seen. So, this is the only one I have to judge from, and boy howdy, that looks stupid.
Well, and he didn't get a good grip on Jericho, or Jericho was too heavy, or something. There was some definite awkwardness to it. Yeah,
it was awkward. Especially the butt grabbing part. That was the most awkward part. But anyway.
It was Jericho's ass. I mean, wouldn't you grab that if you could?
No, what the? Anyway. So.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong there, boy.
We're talking about, this move, and it didn't even end the match. He kicked out at 2. The match ended on AJ Styles' also stupid looking submission move that honestly looks like he's the one in the submission move. Because he's the one whose leg is bent at a weird, awkward angle that looks painful.
I know.
He looks like he's put himself in a submission move that for some reason is also painful to the other person.
Yeah. I can't defend that one. I'm baffled by it myself. And it comes out of nowhere. At no point in the match did he ever so much as kick Jericho in the calf.
No, like, no, he did it once. He did it once, but it was the other calf.
No. And so it's not like Kurt Angle's submission where Angle's a submission expert, and if he doesn't work on your ankle all that, and suddenly puts in the ankle lock, you can still kind of buy it. It came out of nowhere, and I don't quite understand why Jericho was hurt quite that much by it.
God bless his soul, though. Chris Jericho sold that thing like you had a red hot branding iron up his butthole. Like, he sold that thing so well. You bought, for just a second, that for some reason a man gently pressing on your calf muscle might be the most painful thing in the universe. He sold it so well.
Yeah. And it was made even much better because Brie Bella's tapping out in the last one. You don't often hear me say something bad about the Bellas, but holy shit, her tapping out is the weakest, most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. It's gently tapping, oh yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah, she was just tired of the match at that point. Yeah, sure, whatever, I tap out. Okay, yeah, we're done. That was very lackluster. You're right. I forgot about it, to be honest. But
that's the problem both fellas have, if I recall. They can't sell a submission very well.
They don't sell like they're in pain very well. Whereas Jericho, by God, you bought it for just a second. That was the best part of the whole match, is how well he sold that fucking move.
Yeah. And I just want to mention Jericho's magnificent drop kick when Styles was coming out of the ring. That shit always takes such timing that I always love it.
Yeah, and that's a spot Jericho does, so it's not the first time I've seen it, but Jesus fuck, it's a really hard spot, so I'm impressed.
Yeah. It looked like Jericho, hurt his knee a couple times.
Yeah, he's cool dad at this point. He's like fucking in his 40s, and I'm not surprised if he got banged up during the match, but he didn't gas out. I give him that shit. He didn't gas out once. He was running till the end of that fucking match.
Jericho's in tremendous shape. I don't know, several of his peers at that age.
Yeah, he's in way better shape than a lot of wrestlers are at that age. But that match ended, pretty well, honestly. Like, I'm not surprised, and I'm not mad at it. I just don't give a fuck about AJ Styles, so I'm not excited, you know?
And I wonder if at this point you're not suffering from 18 years of, oh my god, this guy is the greatest thing ever.
Oh, I totally am.
Can't live up. Yeah.
Totally am. I'm fully aware.
Can't live up. Yeah.
This is total hype backlash. You hear people going on and on and on about he's the greatest thing since Jesus or whatever. And he's okay. He's not bad. He's not a bad wrestler, man. He's just not the phenomenal one. By the way,
what we're saying is we're waiting for him to walk on water, essentially.
I mean, or, loaves and fishes. I'll take anything. Any of the whole suite, he could bring a guy back to life. Might I suggest, Owen Hart? That'd probably bend a lot of fences. Anyway, on to the surprise of the evening. There was a literal 2-minute and 23-second match between Curtis Axel and R-Truth.
This match seemed like I heard something about this match happened because they were running fast, and they just needed to pad things out a little bit.
That's not how you pad that out. That's not how you pad things out. No, sir. You padded out with more of the best thing that happened all night. And we skipped it, and that was a travesty on my part, and I apologize. The New Day with Edge and Christian and their little promo thing on the, what the fuck was it called? Oh, fuck. The Cutting Edge Peep Show. That's right. And it was fucking amazing. I had so much fun. I was clapping by the end of it. And not even like the New Day clap. I was just applauding how much I was having a good time. The New Day, best thing in fucking wrestling. Best thing. They are A-class material. They are main event dudes. And I absolutely love them. Edge and Christian were at the best that they are. They were having fun like fucking mid-2000s, crazy-ass sunglasses, Edge and Christian. And it was such a fun little bit. It was such a fun, and I wouldn't have I wouldn't mind another 2 minutes and 23 seconds of it, is all I'm saying.
I'm going to be the contrarian opinion here, probably just because I've never gotten into Edge and Christian. I've always wanted to, but they just never struck a chord with me.
But the New Day was good, though, right?
Yeah.
The New Day was fire, though, right?
Yeah, they were good, but like my disliking of Edge and Christian stuck so badly, it kind of brought them down a little bit for me.
Oh, come on. You can't tell me you didn't enjoy watching Edge make it rain on Kofi Kingston. That was the best.
Well, and I have a problem with this because it's giving me flashbacks to the Ascension, like last year-ish, where there's no payoff, wrestling-wise, to those two interacting, or those two teams interacting, because they've been interacting since, like, fall of last year. This can't have a match. As in Christian can't have a match. And so there's no way for this to pay off. Like the Ascension, who came in and shit on every Power and Pink team, but they couldn't bring in a Power and Pink team for them to beat. Because nobody knows who Warlord and Barbarian are at this point. Demolition, as much as I love them, are not in shape. And for some reason, Hawk isn't answering his phone anymore. It's fucking rude. But
Dark, bro.
But yeah, it could have no payoff, so they floundered because of it. I'm sure they floundered because of other things,
but like, I don't think that was the point, though. The point was to give Edge and Christian a way to sell their show that was coming up, get the New Day on the card, because as I said, best thing on the fucking roster, and, give them a way to set up their next match, which is probably going to be them versus League of Nations at WrestleMania, which I'm fine with, because the New Day will come away the victors through the power of positivity. I believe this because something good has to happen in wrestling, and so far they've been booking the New Day very, very well.
Yeah. Well, and you're probably not wrong that it was never meant to build to them having a payoff, but it flashes back to the Ascension being wasted. I mean, they were never going to be like the next Dudleys, but they could have been a force, and they're just a joke now.
Yeah, they are.
They were literally a joke in that segment.
Yeah, they were. Those guys need new gimmicks. It's just that. I mean, you gotta keep them together, give them a new gimmick, split them up, give them new gimmicks. The gimmick's dead. It's dead. It's gone. It's over. It's done. Just let it go.
Yeah, I wish because they brought them both in, like power guys. But what is it, Victor? He's not a power guy. He's thin and scrawny, and I would have preferred it if, like, they had made Victor the brain. He was scheming about things, and Connor was just the muscle that, got things done.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but to dream. I got nothing else to say about the Curtis Axel R-Truth match, where for some reason Goldust was there also.
Yeah, Goldust was trying to form
No, I know the actual reason. I was making a joke because I don't care.
Oh, alright.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. For the listener who might not have seen it. Or might have fast-forwarded past it, which would have been an entirely valid option.
Well, Goldust has been trying to form a tag team with R-Truth for some reason. And honestly, their segments have been, very entertaining over the Raws. Because it's just wacky. They go to different locations. Like, it's a hotel lobby out in front of a different building. They're experimenting a little bit with it, and that's nice.
It's just Goldust needs something to do. He's goofy, R-Truth's goofy. They can be goofy together. It's WWE booking. That sounds like them.
Yeah. And personally, I'm loving the social outcast. I was telling you this is the year of Heath Slater, goddammit.
No, it's never gonna be the year of Heath Slater. But I'm not hating the social outcasts, to be honest. I'm not hating them. They're pretty good. They have that same sort of fun energy that the New Day have. They're not as charismatic, but they could be like, the New Day.
That deliberately are meant to kind of like fail in getting over, and in that way they're kind of over.
They're over as a failure, and I find that so interesting, because 3MB was the same way, only more annoying. The Social Outcasts have enough charm to them that I think it might work a little better this time. That's largely in part due to Bo Dallas and, Adam, what the fuck, the British guy. I forget his last name. Yeah, Rosebud guy. And being way better at cutting promos than Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal or whatever ever were. So you can get over because more than Heath Slater can talk.
Yeah. And they're giving them a little push. This is not the first win they got, which is surprising because all four of them have been more or less jobbers last year.
You know what? WWE will let you have another chance, man. They'll give you a stupid, dumbass gimmick, and if you can make it work, more power to you. And in this case, they might be making it work, and I'm pretty happy for them. Main event. We have Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Satan himself, Lord of the Underworld, Malboja, Brock Lesnar. They sell this motherfucker like he's Godzilla come to destroy Tokyo every time. And I gotta admit, it works. You buy it. The fucking Streak Knight lives. He's unstoppable cosmic force of engine destruction. It's great.
He is fucking Galactus, and Paul Heyman is his Silver Surfer. Heyman comes and tells you the Eater of Worlds is fucking coming.
And then the Brock comes, and then you take a ride down to Suplex City, where the suplex is hurt, and those stars are pretty. But yeah, no, this match was the John Cena, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar triple threat from a year or two ago. Again. But that's not a bad thing. Because that was a good match. This is a good match. And they harken back to the Shield, which always makes my little Mark heart happy.
I unfortunately missed a large chunk of his middle, and I am infuriated because of it. I was so looking forward to this match.
If you can catch it elsewise, some of the later, I would really suggest it because it's actually a very surprisingly fun match. Well done, very point by point, good storytelling, solid work on everybody's part. The finish happened. It was a good finish. Ambrose was in the match to get pinned. Ambrose got pinned. And it was obviously going to be Roman. Of course it was going to be Roman.
As well it should be.
But, they sold it like it might not be Roman. And here's the thing. By the end of the match, there were still some boos, but Roman won over that crowd. Way more than he usually does. A lot of them were at the very least not booing him anymore.
Yeah.
I think it was...
And the crowd is really slowly changing. There's still some of those diehard eye marks that will never let it go, but it's the people that do like him are getting louder than that.
But, I think it was the moment at the end where he was in the Kimura lock and then he stood up. Because you are deadlifting Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar's not a light motherfucker. And he can't help. Brock Lesnar had to sit there like a baby in a baby Bjorn, just getting lifted, and it worked, and that was a really cool spot. But, the match itself was really solid. I liked the finish. You said you missed a bunch of the middle bit.
Yeah.
But,
I basically came back in just as Reigns was getting into the Kimura.
Oh, cool. So you caught the ending. Afterward, Triple H comes out. They do the stare down match. It's a night over. C plus show. Leads into your WrestleMania just fine. Nothing offensive about it. Way less shitty than I thought it was going to be. By dint of that main event being good, that fucking New Day gimmick renewing my soul and spirit. I was so disheartened through most of this show. I could not be fucked. I could not give a shit. But, that New Day gimmick, that New Day fucking segment just renewed my soul. I was a new man after that. It was a new day.
That was more or less me for the AJ Jericho match, because I was watching Styles as he rose in the Indies, and I missed the first two of these matches. their matches, so.
So you got to see it. You got to see, a really good match put on between two guys you actually give a shit about. I'm glad for you. Here's hoping that I end up giving a shit about AJ Styles. I
honestly, if you didn't before now, I'm not sure you ever will. You might come to grudgingly accept him being there like you have with Owens, but if you weren't on that train to begin with, 10, 15 years ago, you may not get there.
That's a fair assessment. I might not, but I'm not committed to hating him. And I wasn't committed to hating Owens. I just don't find the guy terribly entertaining most of the time. I'm not committed to hating AJ Styles. I don't get where his hype came from, but aside from the hype, he's not bad. I can't listen to him talk and take him seriously because all I think is, this sure is a good gimmick they put on Jamie Noble. But
and understand, they've done a lot of work with his voice to get rid of his accent. His actual speaking voice is so much fucking thicker than what you've heard.
I'm sorry, that's him trying not to have an accent?
Yeah.
Jesus fuck, I'd need subtitles to understand him if he wasn't trying. And I'm from the South.
He speaks with Georgian peaches in his mouth. We tried to get him not to talk with food in his mouth, but he just won't listen.
I got nothing else to say about this show, do you?
Nothing else except reiterating the awkwardness of having a show between Rumble and Mania. It just...
Yeah, but you gotta have one.
Yeah, you can't change... you can't get rid of the pay-per-view, you can't move Rumble up or back, and you can't do the same for Mania. It's awkward, especially when you have a world title match on it, because it telegraphs it hard.
Like, you know what you gotta do? You gotta give it a funny hat. You gotta give that pay-per-view a thing to be. Move Elimination Chamber there. Who gives a fuck what Elimination Chamber is?
The Elimination Chamber was there, and I had a bigger problem with that, because the Elimination Chamber should not be fucking predictable. It should be unpredictable. And I have a problem with it being a match that has its own pay-per-view. It should be something specific, like, God damn it.
I mean, I suppose, yeah, it would have to be a little predictable unless you had, 6 dudes in the chamber who could all reasonably be in the main event at WrestleMania, and that's really rare.
Yeah, they can't even fucking do that with the Rumble.
Maybe King of the Ring? King of the Ring isn't attached to the title.
Yeah. And you could do something with that to give them some spots as well, like Intercontinental match, although you'd really want to feud for that. But yeah, no, King of the Ring wouldn't be terrible, no. If they did something other than give people the King gimmick.
Look, they don't do that every time. They only do that when they're mad at me.
Why are they mad with Bad News Barrett?
I don't know. He farted in the same elevator as Vince. I'm not sure why they're mad at him. I just know that's the reason they give you the King gimmick. Notice that after Sheamus won a few years ago, he had that King gimmick for a week or two, and they immediately dropped it because that was just him having fun with having one King of the Ring, and then they drop it because they're not actually pissed at him. They're not actually going to make him married to this gimmick. But I got literally fucking nothing else to say about this show, man.
Nope. I don't really have anything else to say for the show. Rumor mill has it that, I keep calling him Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett is probably not going to renew his contract because he's not happy with his position in the company.
Oh, really? Wow, you color me deeply fucking unsurprised. It's really fucking regrettable because Bray Wyatt, or no, Wade Barrett, you said. Now you have me doing it.
Yeah, fuck you, boy.
But, he's been, I used to hate the guy. He really won me over. He had an amazing gimmick, and he can really work a mic these days, but, he pissed in someone's Cheerios, and now he doesn't get to be over ever. So he's probably gonna leave. Cause he could probably do well in Japan. He could do well in the end. He's got the look Japan likes. He's a big, tall, giant white dude. Japan likes those. But
doesn't really. I mean, don't you?
Vince does, which makes me all the more surprised that he's not getting more over. Because Vince loves big, clobbering white dudes.
Vince likes muscle builders, not necessarily tall.
Yeah, he's never really gotten swole enough for Vince, has he?
No, he's good for that English street fighter look. It's street boxing sort of thing. That's what which is tremendous, I think.
You could do a lot with that gimmick. Sad they won't.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps us up. Catch you again for Mania?
Yes, sir. Is White going to be joining us?
Entirely possible, and also entirely non-possible. He usually decides based on the card.
We'll see whether he hates the card or not.
Until that time, I believe this is the end of the show, and I've killed any possibility of a segue, which is now my favorite thing to do. Do you know your line?
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
That's your line.
Fuck it, let's get hardcore!